society's not very family friendly, and we have to think family. Our government says think family and think only one door. And it isn't simply about just coming into one building where all the services are co-located. Because I'm saying everywhere I go, you go all over the UK now and you see these £3 to £4 million buildings, fancy buildings. And I don't really believe in fancy buildings very much, but I believe in reciprocal ways of working, different ways of working. And in the building, you know when you're in the health bit, you know when you're in the social services bit, and you know when you're in the education bit. And that's where the education bit, where's the Rottweiler receptionist, and you've got one of those little door hinge things that snaps you in the nose, and, you know, and another thing, and you try and say it, and she shuts it again, you know, because they're really not keen on you crossing that magical line, because we're the professionals and we work with the children, and really parents aren't very welcome. It's a stereotype about education, but it's how a lot of people feel. And I'm a teacher, so I can slag us off as teachers. But they've also in that building, you've got the social work bit. And you know the social work bit because they wouldn't be sitting like this. They'd all be sitting in a circle and wearing different kinds of shoes. And it's all different, and it's a bit chatty and a decent coffee. But the children are in their buggies, and the buggies have got the visors up, and the buggies are facing the wall, and nobody's noticed. You know, so it's just a classic. And that's what you see, and that's what happens sometimes. And then you go into the health bit, and the health bit is a long corridor with little seats outside, little doors, and there's lots of little doors. And they can't even get their act together to have one receptionist for all three. You know, so you know that all that's happened is that the centres have opened, beautiful buildings, and everybody's insisted on working in exactly the same way that they were before. Looking at your stats are scary in some places. We were in a wonderful place, you know, where it's 60% of women smoking during pregnancy, and it's 120% increase, you know, of families where there are children on the child protection register. You've got extreme challenges like we have in the UK. We're not as bad as America. So on a bad day, just think, we're not as bad as America. Which makes me wonder why we buy all the parenting programs and projects from America, because actually, frankly, Tassie knows how to do the work with Tassie parents. You are the experts on what will work in this community. I am not. Lots and lots of the families had 25% of the families that were using the nursery had experience of abuse in childhood. They weren't going to easily adjust to touch. And the trouble at the moment with baby massage groups in England, because everybody loves them. All the children's centres, the last 1,000, are based in primary schools. And they just love the yummy mummies who come in wanting baby massage. And they will open any number of baby massage groups. I think every primary school in England has probably got a baby massage group. There's all the nice mummies with their baskets and their bassinets and their swanky whatsits and their little children in Oshkosh trousers. They're all coming in for baby massage. The truth is we want all the parents to come to baby massage because reducing cortisol, increasing serotonin, increasing brain activity is important, particularly important for most vulnerable children. Now, in our community, people said to us when we first started talking about baby massage, well, the first thing they said was really rather crude, so I won't say it, but the second thing they said was impugning our sexualities, I think. They just kind of thought that it was all that touchy-feely middle-class stuff. I'm not the kind of mummy who goes to a baby massage. I wouldn't even call myself a mummy. I'm not the kind of mother who would go to baby massage. And the dads certainly were fairly allergic to it. So we had to run it in different ways. So I'm sure that you have been doing it. What we had to learn was to do it differently. So how do you get dads excited by baby massage? You do it differently. You don't disempower them. You don't minoritise them. You don't take the baby off them the moment they walk in the children and family centre and say, "Ah, bless. Isn't he sweet?" You know, no, he's not sweet. He's taking his responsibility seriously. But fathers are always disempowered in all female environments. So we've got to work differently. So I hope that we share internationally a desire to work differently. All of us, of course, think that what we're doing is pretty good. We don't get up in the morning trying to be an obstacle to somebody else's engagement with the health service. I mean, that's not what turns you on. But actually, some of us are the obstacles. We become the obstacles to other people. We have to start seeing it from other people's point of view. So at the moment, we are not succeeding across the world with about 20% of the population. So whatever good stuff we're doing, somehow 20% of people are not engaging in public sector services across the world. They just don't feel that they're for them. And our government used to say they're the hard-to-reach parents. You know, oh, they're the hard-to-reach parents. In schools they say, oh, the parents who really want to come never come. And in the vaccination clinic, oh, well, you know, the parents are not going to turn up. And the social workers, oh, well, I work with their mother, what do you expect? It's not good. We've got to shift that and turn that around. We've got to make it possible for people to use public sector services and feel good about using them. We had a big argument and debate in one community because were sharing the statistics, and it was all this stuff about smoking. And my biggest anxiety in our community now is that we are public sector buildings, no smoking is allowed, and of course that's right and appropriate. But somewhere in our community are those 60% of young women with babies and toddlers who are smoking. So what are they doing? They're sitting in somebody's sitting room, all of them, having a fag, and the children, are breathing all of this in because there's nowhere they can actually go anymore. Then we must perhaps run our services so that after 40 minutes, everybody takes a break. If you're running a community drop-in, maybe the staff will say, well, look after the children, you need to go out and have a cigarette. Maybe we'll be realistic about what the real world is like out there, and not be pejorative and not be punitive, and try and, the way we work with people, whether people come into our service will depend whether or not they feel that it's a place for them. And other parents in our community said, we know what the government wants, we know what a Sure Start mum looks like, she rampantly breastfeeds, she doesn't smoke, and she listens to what professionals say, and that's not us. We don't like being told what to do. And maybe some of those feisty young teenagers couldn't engage because most of us working with them are over 35, and in my case, well over 50, and because we hadn't psyched up to how they wanted to be worked with. So the new way of working demands that we change the way we work.